This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient.
Nobody 2 hits theaters as I write these words, but not as I say them because this is several days later. The Bob Odenkirk of Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad fame led vehicle roped in almost like $60 million on a budget of $16 million and has an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.4 on IMDb. And I'm not really sure why. There's a term in gaming where other games are compared to this one very famous franchise I will never play. That's right. And the term is Souls-like, and it describes a game with elements or gameplay mechanics popularized or associated with Dark Souls. I think something similar should be created for movies, and in this situation, we'll call it a Wick-like movie. I think the association is probably mostly cultural, because this movie actually shares more with the Expendables, or something like Olympus Has Fallen, or Lethal Weapon, excluding, of course, Lethal Weapons 5 and 7, as they only got Korean theatrical releases, and even a show like Blue Bloods. Namely, this movie is directed at your dad. It brings up the masculine insecurities of the father who's been working a steady job for 20 years, comes home to a house he makes mortgage payments on, which is something you will never have, and has a wife, a mythical creature you've only dreamed of, and also a child. And he comes to this home to a wife who loves him but isn't attracted to him anymore, and a teenage son who thinks his dad is a baby bag bitch, a man who has let the peace and quiet of the white picket fence American dream dull his edge, sap him of his masculine strength and dominance. Time to play because alpha male red pill content doesn't just exist for, unmoored young men. It exists for the man with a tan line around his wedding ring finger.
As a man ages, his testosterone levels can drop dramatically, causing a lack of energy, decreased
Joker moments and unhinged crash outs aren't only for incels and Discord mods. They're also for the family man that's just had enough. And this man's name is Hutch Mansell. This opening montage is great, both at delivering some key information and also at making us feel the grind of time, the soul-sucking repetition of suburban life. We see Hutch stays in physical shape, and maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I think it shows him running instead of lifting weights for a reason. He misses the trash in the mornings, rides the bus, and importantly, his marriage is bad enough that his wife has created a barrier in their bed to prevent him from touching her or even seeing her, so intimacy of any kind is off the board. Through the montage, we see his son barely acknowledging him when he comes in the door, and another important thing is the advertisement he does pull-ups in front of every morning. His wife, the realtor, and possibly the primary breadwinner for the family. We don't know. And finally, something breaks the monotony of day-to-day life. A break-in. Hutch initially grabs a golf club to confront the attackers, but opts instead to use something historians call a landline phone to call the police. The intruders hold him at gunpoint while they grab the loose cash in the loose cash bowl, and they take his watch. They also try to take his wedding ring, but like his wife, Hutch refuses to give it up. His son comes barreling in from the top rope with Topa Suicida, and when his female partner turns to point the gun at his son, Hutch thinks about braining her with the golf club, which his son agrees with, but instead tells his son to let the robber go.
What the fuck, Dad?
I mean, yeah, Dad. No wonder Mom doesn't want to
This unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels.
Outside, after the safety of his family has been threatened, Hutch wonders how he could have let that happen. until a cop breaks his inner thoughts with a clear message.
Did you even take a swing?
She had it.
Could have taken her, Dad.
You know, if that was my family.
You're a pussy.
And to seal that message, Hutch looks over to his wife to see this. Yeah, sorry to say, bro, she's never given you another BJ in your life. That night, his daughter comes to sleep with him on the couch in the basement, and they have this little cute conversation.
You scared?
Why would I be? You're here.
Yeah.
Well, sweetie, you're just too young to know how much of a coward your coward dad is. Hutch misses the trash again. His son needs to get some sort of a report done on a veteran, so he asks Hutch, who replies that he was an auditor, a nobody.
Today.
What about your Uncle Charlie? He was a real soldier. I didn't mean. No.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, you did. Honestly, at this point in the film, even though we're just experiencing it through Hutch, his wife seems like a grade A bitch. This, of course, clearly bothers Hutch, but he seems to be more bothered by the fact that his son basically is coming to him as a last resort after asking other people first. Outside, we see Hutch's neighbor, who's about to get into a classic muscle car while wearing a leather jacket, which is like his entire personality, I guess. He does the common but insane line of, I wish they would have broken into my house.
You should have picked my place, you know? Could have used the exercise.
Stop the cap.
Pretty slick though, huh? The 72 Challenger, 4.9 liter V8, 0 to 60, and I'm about to find the fuck out.
Actually, I can tell you. Let me hit you with a little chronology.
Don't you do it.
I'ma do it.
Don't you do it.
The 1972 Dodge Challenger. Already diminished in power after debuting in 1970, as upcoming emission standards and I'm sure other factors would essentially kill muscle cars, actually came in several different configurations. However, the one closest to what Hutch's neighbor is supposedly driving is the 5.6 liter V8 sporting a whopping, monumental 240 horsepower, topping out at a space-time warping 130 miles per hour, and setting a blistering 0 to 60 of a little less than 9 seconds. This, of course, is already a drastic downgrade from the 5.8 to 6.3 seconds in its 1970 Prime version. But, I mean, you don't really drive classic muscle cars because they're comparable with today's cars in either performance or handling. You drive them because they're awesome and they sound like $1 million. Anyway, we get to meet Uncle Charlie, who is clearly just a massive shitheel and a loser.
Safety's on. No.
But another dynamic unfolds. Charlie, who is his wife's brother, works at the same company, and that company is owned by Hutch's father-in-law. This is the grandpa that was mentioned, not Hutch's father.
That's right, Grandpa. He actually saw some action.
Hutch has a brother who clearly has served and a father who clearly has served. I mean, at least in the FBI, but probably in the Army too. But his family has no idea either of these people exist. Now, Hutch wants to buy the business off of his father-in-law, who doesn't want to part with the place without a great offer. And Hutch wants something of his own, a physical legacy to pass on to his children. Something more substantial than a 1972 Challenger. Hutch talks to his brother over the radio and reveals he was aware of how little danger the robbers represented, which is why he didn't go, top golf on the lady and actually let them go. His brother instructs him not to do anything stupid. So he goes to see his father, who knows that something is bothering him and that he's lying about it. And when he gets back home, he finally gets the closest thing to a sign from God that he could ask for.
You can't find what?
My kitty cat bracelet.
Where was it?
in here.
an excuse. So he heads back to his father's place, grabs a limited edition Mr. Rogers jacket, a wad of cash, and a revolver, and his father's old FBI badge, before riding the bus to canvas tattoo parlors until he finds the right one.
Thank you for your service.
This is a simple, effective, and entertaining way to show how dangerous a character is when we know nothing about them. This is Hutch's "he stole John Wick's car" moment. And with that handled, he goes to confront the robbers. I mean, this is a quick way to establish the couple is hella poor. Anything you pour boiling water onto to make edible is struggle food.
I speak, you listen. You know why I'm here. Because I'm a good man. I'm a family man. Most of all, I'm a man who did not deserve your gun in his face. Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker!
Now, say what you will about this scene. Personally, I don't even think we're supposed to think Hutch is wrong. But whether or not they intend us to read other things into this, it's clear this isn't about a goddamn kitty cat bracelet. Hutch is quite clearly a killer. And his speech about being a good man is really just an explanation of his excuse. He did everything he was supposed to do. He slipped into the right skin to be a father and a husband, held down a stable, societally acceptable job. He laid down his violence and control for stability and safety.
I can't believe I let this happen.
And the alleyway is just the overflow, the primal scream, and it's not quite enough. The bus scene is probably the main thing people remember about this movie, as the whole running afoul of an Eastern European mobster isn't super interesting or important. It's also the most daydream I made up in my head situation ever. I beat up a bus full of drunk gangsters bothering an elementary school teacher, and everyone clapped. Anyway, he ushers everyone off the bus and then challenges the drunk gangsters, which includes Alain Moussi, and also the stuntman that's in like every movie ever at this point. The important thing here is that this is a midlife crisis moment. This is you at 10 watching your dad beat a lawnmower to death with one of your old baseball bats. And when he comes back inside and your mom asks, "What's wrong?" he just says, "Well, the mower wouldn't start." And then he gets back on the bus after checking his inventory. I mean, we're getting to demonic levels of wanting the smoke.
Stop it. Get some help.
After it's over, he sees his wife and lets her see him. The fact that she clearly knows that he got into some sort of crazy physical altercation, I don't know, this was just strange. Their entire dynamic is kind of weird, actually. Like, the entire family, except for, like, his daughter. It's real weird. Anyway, Hutch chooses this as the time to bring up the lack of intimacy in their relationship and them drifting apart as a couple.
I'm right here, Hutch. I'm always right here.
Buddy, ma'am, what are we doing here? You have a literal wall of pillows in your bed, blocking him from even seeing you. And now we have the introduction to our villain. A gangster of the Nostrovna variety. Anyway, he does a Baltic bump of some premium Eastern Bloc nose candy before hopping on stage for a 2025 Katy Perry level performance. Big yikes. Anyway, concerns have been raised about something called the Ob Shack. And to alleviate those concerns, Vladimir Putin takes a wine glass and murders a guy who holds stake in the Ob Shack, which is some sort of centralized mob bank or something where gangsters have their money to protect it from Batman. And then he finds out that his son stole John Wick's car. And then he finds out that his little brother, he may never walk again due to copious amounts of brain damage. That was easily the best part of the movie. That was great. Thank you. Thank you for that. After some light beating, Julian finds out who put his little brother in a coma. After some sleuthing, including a blackmail package for some kind of government worker or possibly fake dean, they find Hutch's home. Right as he's serving up some homemade lasagna. Hey, put a plate out for me, baby. Let's go. That looks delicious.
Don't call 911.
This fight scene is much more kinetic. Better staged, higher paced, sometimes in movies. Even really well choreographed and rehearsed scenes. It looks a little too staged. I mean, sometimes because it's so well choreographed and rehearsed, it does look too staged, too clean, too seamless. Especially where there's supposed to be elements of chaos. And I actually think this is a great example of the opposite. This does look and feel chaotic. You know, like Hutch is one mistake away from ruining his kill streak and, getting his lights turned out. Anyway, he gets captured, he gets free, and then runs home. Runs home to release his family from the basement. And it's time for him to plan for the final confrontation. He rigs his newly bought manufacturing plant in a Home Alone meets Saw style before deciding to take the fight to Putin. I mean, Julian. He goes after the Ob Shack, hip firing with a submachine gun and killing everyone in a montage with the best boomer music, Frank Sinatra. And then he rigs the sprinklers with
paint.
Paint in sprinklers? Are we the little rascals?
And then he rigs the sprinklers with gas and burns it all down. Julian is doing yet another performance at his club.
Again!
Like, guys, this is Olympic level glazing. Like, you just stand there and clap for this horrible dog shit every night? I'd have to get another job. Anyway, Hutch is there in the front row. This entire sequence of events is totally unnecessary for the film, as Hutch explains later. He claims he's there to make peace, but he knows there's no way Julian will ever let him live. Just as the other stakeholders in the Ob Shack would never let Julian live after getting all their money burned. And he doesn't even want Julian to run. He wants to kill him for sending men into his home.
Which you know you don't fucking do!
And of course, he gets his wish. We get to pretend that his 9,000-pound sluggish muscle car with the turn radius of a limousine is a good escape vehicle as Julian and his men follow him back to his little house of horrors. He gets pinned down outside and shot like an idiot. And weirdly, both his dad and his brother are there at the business waiting. I don't know how, but judging by his reaction and by his brother's words, Hutch hadn't even included them in the plan at all. We're letting it go so we can see all the traps Hutch made with the DIY tutorials from YouTube that he was doing earlier. Hutch's brother is using a tactical bolt-action sniper rifle with a fucking can on it, which is absolutely optimal, of course, in close quarters combat. But what do I know? Because he lines up a triple headshot. I mean, that's chef's kiss. I won't do some elaborate breakdown of everything that happens in this scene. It's pretty straightforward, mow him down while standing in place directly out in the open because we have plot armor, expendable style gunplay, which isn't really entertaining to me. And it doesn't get less realistic than running at Yulian with a makeshift riot shield that has a claymore strapped to the front. Hutch survives, sends his dad and brother off, a dad and brother his family didn't know about, of course, and deals with the aftermath being the beginning of the film. And honestly, the only real importance of that is the cat that he got for his daughter. Anyway, 3 months later, they're moving into a new home. Things look good, and his wife looks ready to christen their new bed as soon as possible. Hutch gets a phone call on the realtor's phone because he clearly doesn't have one of his own for some reason. I don't know, send him a burner in the mail anyway, whoever bailed him out of his I murdered the entire Russian mob jam clearly isn't done with it.
Does this house have
A basement.
And that's nobody. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.